Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's good, people? We got another episode here. What's the word with LJ Metro Podcast? And I'm your host with the most, LJ. Welcome in. Appreciate anybody for joining me here today. Appreciate you. So, I wanted to start off. I know I talked about last time the Jordan documentary and listed my top 10 NBA players, and I'm gonna start a theme here where I'm gonna start that next month. But I was gonna start off this week talking about my top 10 hip hop producers, and I'm gonna continue that theme until the next month. But before I get into that, there's some stuff that's been on my mind that I got to address here, and some bullshit that happened in the world, and I definitely need to address it. And I'm going to discuss that as far as these police officers that killed this black man. Excuse me, I'm sorry. These motherfucking cowards that killed this innocent black man. But that's what they are. I'm sorry. They're fucking cowards. And I'm just calling it like it is. These cowards that killed this man for alleged, it wasn't proven, alleged forgery. You can clearly see the videos all over the internet. This man had his foot on his neck, just like the man, another innocent black man that was killed in New York, Eric Garner. Rest in peace to both these gentlemen. The man that just died, his name is George Floyd. Rest in peace to both of those brothers. It's a sad shame, and I'm tired of hearing about this shit. I really am. Like, another innocent black man. And what the fuck can we really do? Because it's a police officer. They feel like they have a power to harass us, and it's just ridiculous. I'm tired of this, and I like to see that some action has been taken. These officers have been immediately fired, and hopefully they get tried. And hopefully they don't get off. Like, I mean, these men deserve to pay for what they did. Because, I mean, we've seen this too many times where we already know the justice system isn't for us. As far as black individuals. I'm a black man myself, so this hits close to home because I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen it myself. I've been harassed by the police before, not to this extent, but it's ridiculous, and I'm just tired of talking about it. I'm tired of seeing it. I mean, I know racism is a part of this country in America, and it's sad to say that this still exists, and I love to see that. We're going to have to start fighting back. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not going around talking about killing no cops or nothing like that. I'm just saying we need to fight back and stand up for each. So, like, seriously, like, continue to record this ridiculous bullshit that keeps happening to us. Anybody. Like, if it's happening to not just us as black folks, but I'm sorry, we got to stand up for each other first. I'm just saying. But if it's happening to anybody, record it and send it out there because that's how we get the message out there. I'm just tired of seeing it. It's ridiculous. And I hope those evil cowards pay for what they did. Those evil, they don't deserve to be police officers, and they were fired. Rightfully so, but they don't deserve to be on the force, and they need to pay for what they did. And I'm sorry to say, rest in peace to that brother George Floyd, because he did not deserve that. My heart goes out to his family, and I'm praying for you. I just had to get that off my chest right quick. Another thing, the main topic I was going to talk about, like I said, my top 10 here. I am going to get into that. And feel free to chime in, call in, and discuss this issue or anything else if you want to at 845-241-9916. You can give me a call here. And before I get into my top 10, it's another thing I wanted to address real quick. as far as these coronavirus cases, these numbers, and how do we know that they're really accurate? I mean, obviously, we know that this has affected a lot of people. A lot of people have died. A lot of people have been sick by the coronavirus. And especially, they're saying it's affecting the black community the most. And how do we know how many cases are actually died from coronavirus? Because a lot of the cases now, you're seeing some people may have cancer. They have like some type of illness, and they're just writing off as coronavirus. So how the fuck do we know that these numbers are accurate? So, I mean, this shit is crazy too. And just like how they say, okay, only black people can get sickle cell. And it's just crazy how this virus here is attacking the black community the most. I know initially they said it wasn't going to affect, it was only like certain people were getting it. Initially they were saying, okay, it wasn't affecting any black people at all. And now we're the most affected people. Like, it's crazy. It's wild to see. I mean, it is interesting to see how it's a crazy time right now, and I do believe we are going to get through this. We got to remain strong to get through this, and I definitely believe we will. But it's just wild to see, like, okay, this happens to affect the black community the most. I mean, we've seen this country has treated us the best. We built this motherfucker. We did. We built this motherfucking place. And we see how the systemic racism has constantly still affected us. And it's just crazy. So, I mean, these skewed numbers, I mean, it's really wild to see how this is really affected all this here. But, I mean, like I said, we all going to get through this. And I believe we all got to remain strong, come together, do the best we can. And now, I'm going to switch gears real quick and talk about a more positive note. And get into my list. That's what I wanted to talk about today. But I did want to address that. Like I said, I am gonna have a theme here. I'm gonna start that starting in the next month. As far as it's gonna be a top 10. I might change it in the months, and I'll probably change it monthly or maybe mid-month. I'm gonna see how that goes. But I just had to address that. Shit. So now, as I said, last week talked about the Jordan doc and my top 10 NBA players, and I just wanted to talk about something that's not as talked about as much. You got your people who say your top 5, your top 10 MCs, hip hop, who's your top 10 NFL players, NBA players. And I just thought it would be interesting. It's even been movies about it, like Chris Rock. He had that movie called Top 5. And, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to switch it up. I never really hear anybody talk about, like, top 10 producers. And I thought that would be interesting to talk about. And I always thought about that, too. I remember I was talking to some of my homeboys about this. I never really hear people mention producers. We always talk about MCs, of course, which, I mean, that's going to always be debated, I think, along with sports. This is an interesting one, I think. So, my top 10, and this would be in order, too. And I had to go back and forth for a couple of them, but the one that hasn't changed, number one, is definitely Dr. Dre. I'm sorry, he's the GOAT, the producer. I'm sorry. Possibly the most important person in hip-hop history. Because this man has defined eras from the world-class wrecking crew to NWA to Death Row to Aftermath to the Beats headphones, and defined so many careers along the way, from obviously with being the beat man for NWA, and obviously going to Death Row with the Chronic and bringing Snoop Dogg along, to Eminem, to 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar. These are all-time big, great artists that he has brought along. And on top of that, like I said, there's era we're in where every radio station, even people in the streets rocking around with beats. That's because of Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. And Dr. Dre is the GOAT producing. It's not close. I'm sorry, it's not close. It's really not. My number two, I was back and forth between 2 and 3, but I gotta say, right behind Dre will probably be DJ Premier. This man has also been around a very long time, just like Dr. Dre, and I put DJ Premier this high because he you can't really just put him in a lane where you think like, okay, he's the boom bap beat guy, but then he'll switch it up on you. And he's been doing it very successfully for a very, very long time. From obviously working with Nas on Illmatic to Gangstar with Guru. Rest in peace, Guru. He's one of my all-time favorite MCs that people don't talk about. To working with so many different artists outside of hip-hop, from R&B to, Premier's up there. I mean, the catalog is amazing. And my number 3, I would say Kanye West, definitely, because Kanye, he started out, I want to say with Rockefeller, starting, I think, exclusively for Jay-Z. And then obviously he branched off into his own brand with good music and doing his own brand that way. But as far as producing, but music, beats, Kanye catalog is just amazing. And he switches up his style of beats constantly. And he has a creative ear, I think, second to none. Except only the Dr. Dre and Premier to me. But yeah, Kanye is definitely up there. Next guy, I want to talk about number 4, Just Blaze. Another guy that's been around. He came a little, I want to say late 90s into now. Another guy that was with Jay-Z, working with Dipset, Cameron, and he's done stuff more recently with Drake and Rick Ross. So Just Blaze, another guy, his beats have always been top notch to me. Very great. And I would say Just Blaze. Our next guy, number 5, is Timbaland. From obviously working with so many different MCs to obviously working with so many different R&B artists on top of that. Obviously, being around Missy Elliott and basically being a huge part of Aaliyah's career. To working with so many different people. So yeah, Timbaland is another guy that's up there. I was going back and forth with this one, him and Pharrell. Pharrell was my next one. Another guy from obviously the Neptunes, who are huge, started being a huge part of the Clips career. And I believe he produced one of my favorite beats of all time. And honestly, if you was in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade when this song came out, you would motherfucking lie if you did not do the grinding beat on the lunchroom table. You would motherfucking lie if you didn't do that beat. Everybody I knew did that shit. He was around the age bracket during that, when that grinding beat came out. So yeah, Pharrell was a huge part, Clips, and doing his own thing. So yeah, Pharrell. 7, say Alchemist, another guy that's been around for a while, still doing his thing now, with a lot of great artists, and I always loved his beats also. 8 will be No ID. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit because we almost out of time here. So 8, No ID. 9, the Swiss Beats. Another legendary artist. Number 10, went back and forth with a couple guys. Number 10 is Jermaine Dupri. So that's my top 10. I'm probably, like I said, I'm going to continue this theme into June, and I'm going to switch it up every month. I'm going to see what my theme is for July. Haven't decided that yet, but yeah, for now, it's going to be the top 10 unconventional list that's not as talked about as some of the others. But, we're going to keep that theme going here for a little bit. We got. So this has been another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor Podcast. Appreciate you for joining me. I'm LJ. I'm out.